Pokémon professors are hiding a terrifying secret about the Paradox beasts that connects directly to a real-world tragedy. What they discovered in Area Zero was not a Pokémon, but a warning from the past. You have to stick until the end to see the ancient document that proves the Johto beasts were never supposed to exist. The mystery of Paradox Pokémon has long unsettled scholars of the Pokémon world, for they are beings that seem to exist on the knife edge between reality and myth. To some, they are nothing more than projections of human imagination, born from the fevered minds of ancient recorders and modern professors alike. To others, they are proof of a deeper truth, that time itself folds and fractures, and that these strange creatures spill into our age from futures and pasts we cannot truly grasp. Whether invention or visitor, one thing remains certain. They rarely fit neatly beside the natural order of their so-called counterparts. Yet, in the case of Johto's sacred beasts, there lingers the sense of an exception, a story that bends the rules and blurs the boundary between legend, history, and paradox. Consider how Koraidon and Miraidon echo the form of Cyclizer, but in ways far unlike the scattered imitations of other paradox species. In this same way, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune may hold ties to something older, something hidden. When one traces the timeline, Scarlet and Violet stand nearly 2 centuries removed from the tragedy that burned through Akrutique's twin towers. In those distant days, Ho-Oh claimed the eastern spire, while Lugia brooded in the west. Accounts differ. Some whisper of war, others of theft, others still of a storm conjured not by weather but by the violent beating of Lugia's wings. Whatever the truth, flames consumed the western tower. Lugia vanished into the Whirl Islands, and within the inferno 3 nameless creatures perished. Their identities were lost. Some believe they were common evolutions kept by the Kimono clan, perhaps Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon, while others suspect darker origins. But all stories converge on the miracle that followed. Ho-Oh descended, shedding divine light, and from the ashes rose Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Their forms both familiar and yet utterly new. And yet this rebirth unfolded only decades after another tale, one recorded in the Scarlet Book. The vision of the Scarlet Beast, a monstrous fusion resembling all 3 legendary beasts at once. Heath's expedition into Area Zero captured this image, sketched by his artist after glimpsing entities in the depths. For years, scholars dismissed the drawing as allegory, or as an echo of paradoxes like Great Tusk or Iron Treads. But now, with the discovery of Walking Wake, the boundaries of that tale sharpen. Was Heath's artist merely inspired, or did they truly witness early sightings of creatures bound to the legacy of Johto's flames? Walking Wake itself refuses simple categorization. It roams the Terra-Raid dens, not the Paldine wilds, as though the dens conjure impossibilities. Charizard, Greninja, even Cinderace, all ghosts of regions far away. Walking Wake carries no Paldine Pokédex entry, as though it does not belong yet lingers regardless. Stranger still, it pads across the surface of water with ease, echoing the very legend of Suicune. One wonders whether its siblings, forms tied to Entei and Raikou, await their unveiling, perhaps in the hidden corners of the upcoming expansions. The lore stretches far wider than Paldea. Trade routes and seafaring clans once braided Johto, Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh together into a single cultural fabric. The ruins scattered across the land. The Sinjo site, the ruins of Ulf, the Sky Pillar, Spear Pillar, and the Embedded Tower, bear the fingerprints of a nomadic people who roamed across generations, sealing calamities and enshrining dragons. Their bloodlines surface everywhere. The dragon clans of Johto, the celestic sages of Sinnoh, the heirs to Hijui's divided tribes. Drasna, Cynthia, even the reclusive keepers of Blackthorn trace back to this root. Amid this weaving of ruins and memory, the Kimono girls stand as curators of Johto's truth. From their stage in Akrutique, they preserve not just the dance but the story of Lugia, Ho-Oh, and the resurrected beasts. They are the ones who entrusted the Jade Orb, an artifact tied to Rayquaza itself. They are the ones who presented Mr. Pokémon with Togepi, a symbol of beginnings. Through them, the living memory of the towers continues, echoing through centuries of music, motion, and myth. Perhaps, when the Scarlet Beast of Area Zero returns to the surface, it will not be the scientists of Paldea who recognize its true nature, but the descendants of Johto's dancers, who have been whispering its story all along. Some whisper that the Kimono girls of Johto were never merely performers, but the descendants of a secretive order that once spanned Hijui itself. When the Diamond and Pearl clans struggled to tame their savage wilderness, their leaders bore teams curiously filled with evolutions, creatures bound by branching destiny. That echo lingers suspiciously close to the kimono tradition, where evolutions were treated not just as Pokémon, but as emblems of spiritual harmony. Coincidence is too thin an answer. The bloodline of the dancers may well run through the veins of Irida and Adaman themselves. Evidence surfaces elsewhere. Valerie, Johto-born and steeped in ritual, dons the Furisode, the formal robe that binds her visually to the kimono girls of a critique. Every member of her gym bears the same garb, a visible oath to history. The Japanese scripts of the anime even gift her a Kyoto dialect, the very speech that inspired the ancient design of a critique city. Such threads are no accident. Even in distant lands, the Guardians in Furisode reappear, stationed at Hoen's Cave of Origin and the Sky Pillar, keeping vigil where gods once stirred. Their legacy is not dance alone, but guardianship, carried across generations like a sacred vow. The line of guardians does not halt in Johto or Hoenn. It stretches further, to forgotten corners such as Fiori, land of the Rangers. In the jungled relic, walls marked with the sigils of Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza mirror the engravings of Sky Pillar and Cave of Origin. Deeper still, dragon trials await, barriers meant for chosen masters. Within rests not a dragon, but a stone likeness of Entei, an omen that the beasts, too, walk the pathways these lorekeepers defend. And when Entei, Raikou, and Suicune rose within Fiori's story, they came as both mystery and adversary, carrying the same weight of legend they held in Johto. Unlike regions carved apart by oceans, these Japanese-inspired lands bleed into one another. Their myths do not stand alone, but cross-pollinate like wind-blown pollen. Wherever the trio of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres appear, Lugia is seldom far behind. Crown Tundra, Azure Bay, the sea spirit's den, they whisper of the same roosting titan. And in equal measure, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune seldom roam without Ho-Oh shadowing their tale. This web of repetition hints at something deliberate, a mythic ecosystem that ties these regions together like constellations in the same sky. To understand it, we must return to the fire. Nearly 2 centuries before Scarlet and Violet, the bell tower of a critique collapsed in flame. The identity of the Pokémon within remains shrouded. Some insist they were common evolutions. Others argue they were strangers to Johto's soil. I hold to a darker vision, that they were Paradox Pokémon, long-forgotten beasts that mirrored Entei, Raikou, and Suicune in their earliest forms. Walking Wake reveals the first clue, a dragon of water and light. If it exists, why not its siblings, an electric dragon and a fire dragon, trapped in that tower, perhaps even kindling its fall? When the fire consumed them, Ho-Oh descended, not to act alone, but to wield another power entirely. The ruins of Ulf hold the clue, where depictions show Ho-Oh in company with the unknown. These beings, with their eerie alphabet of creation, bend imagination into matter. We have witnessed their power before. In cinema, when an Entei manifested whole cloth from the dreams of a child, wrought by the unknown's will. If such forces aligned at a critique, the outcome becomes clear. The Paradox Pokémon perished, but their essence was reshaped by unknown, filtered through the minds of the survivors. Did the people imagine Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon, symbols of their kimono dancers? Or did they dream of the Scarlet Beast itself, drawn from books that had already begun to circulate in their world? Whatever the image, the unknown carved it into living flesh. Thus rose Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, not merely revived, but reborn. Their crystalline traits, their spectral loyalties, even Suicune's peculiar link to unknown through its crest, all whisper of this act of reality warping. These beasts follow Ho-Oh not from instinct, but from gratitude, for it was the rainbow bird who acted as the conduit of their rebirth. Whether they are singular beings or the first of a true species is irrelevant. They are legends incarnate, born of tragedy, imagination, and a god's flame. And so their story bleeds into both Scarlet and Violet, for timelines fracture but do not erase. Walking Wake may step on water in Paldea, but its shadow stretches back to the tower fire in Johto. Its kin, yet unseen, may already circle the lore of Kitakami or slumber in the depths of Blueberry Academy. In one version of the world, the beasts are tied to the paradox of the past. In another, they are simply what the people dreamed. In both they exist. Do you believe the Paradox beasts are true Pokémon from fractured timelines, or creations born from human imagination and unknown power? Were Raikou, Entei, and Suicune resurrected legends or reimagined paradoxes? Which theory do you side with? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more hidden truths from the deepest corners of Pokémon lore.